Next item, please.
Citizen participation. Citizens wishing to address the board on agenda and non-agenda items for action who are signed in by 7:10 p.m. by submitting a blue card to the board secretary may speak at this time. The board may not be in a position to respond to non-agenda items. Therefore, speakers should not anticipate an immediate response to their comments or questions. For the benefit of all concerned, do not mention the names of students or school district employees. Please keep your comments as brief as possible. There is a 3-minute time limit on comments made to the board.
I just want to add in there, on the tablet on the podium, there is a running clock. It's counting up. Just keep an eye on that, please. Thank you.
The first blue card is an employee, Denise Tomlinson, would like to come to speak to the board about teacher time and voice and surveillance.
Good evening. I'm actually reading this on behalf of Kathy Martin, the president of Dearborn Teachers Union, local DFT 681, who couldn't be here because she is ill this evening. In the weeks leading up to February 27th, union members across the district moved to action and helped ensure that our district gets the money it needs to serve our students via the millage renewal. Our teachers manned polling stations, passed out flyers, made phone calls, and sent out text messages. They shared how this money would impact our classrooms and our students. We were elated to see the margin of victory, which speaks to the community support that our schools have. But this is when the real work begins. We want to see these funds spent to further support teachers in the classroom as to optimize student learning. We want to see well-trained paraprofessionals working with our special needs students. We want our staff actually respected, not just given empty accolades. Morale is at an all-time low. Ironically, how are we going to improve morale and allow staff to feel valued when out of nowhere, an email was sent last week telling teachers that they can no longer have a boundary line exemption to have their own children attend the buildings at which they work? We are setting up our teachers to fail. Allowing Dearborn residents...
Can you slow down for the translator?
Sorry, Minar. Allowing Dearborn residents, who are also district teachers, to bring their own children to work allows for a better morning, which sets the tone for the rest of the day. It also allows the staff to stay for after-school meetings without creating hardship. I don't think the elimination of the boundary line exemption was well thought out. Why is the district choosing to harm the same staff who pay taxes to the city of Dearborn and who voted to help pass the millage that will provide funding that we desperately need? This is also having a negative impact on many families in the community, as not all schools can offer before school and after school care. Additionally, about 2 years ago, I was at a board meeting when it was announced that CareHawk devices would be installed in our schools. We were assured that no recording devices would be placed in our classrooms. Now, cameras are being installed in our elementary and middle school gyms where the intent is to run them during the school day. I have yet to hear a reason why that makes sense. Next, staff is regularly getting hurt at work, and after more than a year of trying to address the issue, we are no further along than when we started. The union has put out a form to collect data, as we should not come to work with the fear of being injured or having a student in our care injured. The DFT will also send out annual district and union satisfaction surveys. We still have teachers leaving the district. Let's gather meaningful data to prevent that from happening. The results of these surveys need to be shared with the school board, which further stresses the need for teacher voices to be heard at every school board meeting and not just for 3 minutes during public comment. After discussing the need to establish a teacher advisory group for the last year, the administration has agreed to start one by the upcoming school year. This is a step in the right direction, but we still have a long way to go.
Yes,
We are here to work together. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next, employee Amira Asadi from Dearborn would like to come to speak to the board about teacher time and voice and standardized tests.
Ms. Saeed reached out to me. She's probably going to go over a few seconds instead of, she was going to have somebody else speak, but I said, that's okay. Go ahead.
Well, I actually just cut out a whole paragraph because I don't think I can add to what Kathy already wrote.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
About the board, what is it called? Boundary line exemptions. But I do want to, I sent an email to everybody asking basically The Penn Foster situation is really concerning. It has been concerning. And Irene, I think I could tell you a lot about why, if the females in particular are choosing it. Adel can also speak to that as well. We've been ringing the alarm for a while now. But also the fact that what we're told is they're getting into HFC with their credits from Penn Foster and not having to take remedial classes. They're just going straight into 101. So that's another incentive for them. They're literally just buying credits at this point. So with our relationship with HFC, I would hope this would be an easy conversation to have with them. And I can say a lot more about virtual learning, and how to reach the community. I think the district has shown that when they want to reach the community, they can. So the millage is a perfect example of, we now have the platforms to do that. Let's email, let's blast them. David, I'll be looking for your emails talking about virtual schools and their impact. So we've proven that we can do it when we want to. Okay. My name is Amira Saidi. I'm a teacher in Dearborn, an elected union e-board member, and a parent of 2 boys at Duval. Firstly, it's time we acknowledge that the way we are using...
Slow down, please. Slow down for the interpreter.
Okay, but I
We're going to
also have a
time you, but we're
limit.
going to tell you to slow down.
But it's the time limit. All right. Firstly, it's time that we acknowledge that the way we are using standardized test scores and DPS is harming children. Using NWEA scores and now iReady as the sole basis for specialized program admissions is fundamentally flawed. I've witnessed firsthand the tears of a 5th grader denied entry entirely based on a single test score. This practice perpetuates inequalities, disproportionately excludes English language learners, special ed students, and marginalized communities. In the real world, decisions are rarely based on a single data point. Even universities require diversified applications that are increasingly excluding standardized test scores. In too many meetings, I'm told we don't just value quantitative data and DPS, but I can't recall many meetings where any other data was shared. Our district must reassess our use of data and the entrance criteria for all programs. We must embrace holistic measures that accurately reflect students' abilities and potential. Last year, we took a small step forward by expanding entrance criteria to STEM to allow for non-testers. However, last month, the entrance criteria showed up on the school website as only requiring test scores. After inquiring about the lack of alternative criteria, the website was updated. This inconsistency undermines our commitment to equitable education. We must uphold our promise to prioritize diversity and inclusion in our admissions process. And community oversight should not be required in committing to these changes year after year. Additionally, another area of practice we need to revisit in DPS is how we value or undervalue teacher voice and time. We need a teacher advisory group, which provides a dedicated space for educators to contribute meaningfully to district decisions. Teachers have repeatedly told union leadership they feel their expertise is not valued, especially through district avenues like committees or the dreaded task force. Our union president, representing nearly 1,500 staff members, deserves more than a 3-minute race against the clock at our school board meetings. Let's really show that teacher voice matters. If we're to become a more equitable and transformative school district, which is my hope for the district instructing my own children, progress demands inclusivity. We need to deeply reflect on the way we use standardized testing and its data in all of our discussions. And any decisions made without authentic inclusion of teacher voice can no longer be tolerated. We are here to commit to doing better. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Next, community member and employee Sama Sadi from Dearborn would like to come to speak to the board about district communication.
Hello, my name is Samah Saidi, and I'm a, excuse me, closer? Hello, my name is Samah Saidi, and I'm a speech-language pathologist in the district, as well as a parent of 3 students in Dearborn Public Schools. I'm speaking today to address communications and sometimes the lack thereof regarding the STEM entrance criteria. I was a part of a group of parents, staff, and administrators that met last year to discuss the entrance criteria into STEM to ensure equitable practices, specifically for our ELL, special ed, and non-test taking students. After the group met and the new alternate pathways were released last year, I asked why the group that was invested in this topic did not get an update on the decision to create alternate pathways. I personally happened to find out from a colleague weeks after the criteria was posted. This year, the new STEM timeline and criteria was posted on the school's website, but did not include the alternate pathways or any indication that the alternate pathways were going to be implemented again this year. It was not until a few of us inquired about this were the alternate pathways added to the criteria once again. Furthermore, as far as I can tell, the STEM program did not fall apart once the criteria was expanded. But I can't know for sure because there was zero follow-up to review the data regarding the alternate pathways. How are the students without standardized test scores faring in the program? How many ELL students and students with IEPs were invited to apply to STEM? How are those students doing? As mentioned previously, I'm an employee of Dearborn as well as a parent. It shouldn't be my job to follow up on an entire group of people to ensure that fair practices are being implemented. We as staff and parents should trust that those who have the quote-unquote power to make changes are doing so because they are fair, right, and what is in the best interest of all Dearborn students, not because they might have someone question their practices and then and only then will change be implemented. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, employee Nicole Allward from Livonia would like to come to speak to the board about school libraries.
Good evening. The last few months, I have been speaking about the unique but frequently misunderstood role of teacher librarians. I have focused mainly on the elementary side because of the challenges that we have had this year with the special schedule. Tomorrow, we begin working on a plan for the next year, and I'm hopeful that we're going to all work together to provide the very best for all of our students. I always tell people I have the best job in the high school. I get to figure out ways to make students fall in love with reading, which isn't always an easy task, but with the support of administrators and teachers, we have changed the reading culture at Edsel Ford. I get frustrated when I hear people say teenagers don't read, and sure, some of them don't like reading, but it's my job to help them find a book that maybe they'll hate a little less. There's an old library adage that every reader has their book and every book has its reader, and it's the librarian's job to find the reader and the book and put them together. One of my favorite things that I hear is when a student comes in and tells me that they loved the book that I helped them find. We all understand the importance of literacy in every aspect of our lives. We also know the best way to become a better reader is to read. While librarians also teach lessons on digital citizenship and information literacy, at our core, we are driven to get books into the hands of students. Research consistently shows that students that have access to a certified librarian perform better on standardized tests. I believe in the power of libraries and reading. Students that are avid readers have advantages not only academically, but also socially. Reading books that represent diverse populations, perspectives, and challenging situations allows readers to view the world through the eyes of the book's characters, which helps them better prepare for challenges in their own lives. The library is also a safe place for students to regroup when they're having that rough day. We are definitely part of that SEL team. I give out a lot of tissues some days. I'm always looking for opportunities to reach more students, always looking for what we can do better in Dearborn to lead the way as Michigan revitalizes the role of the school library. At our middle schools, we have a library present only 2 days a week, and at the high school, we have 3 days a week. It's just not enough time to achieve all those goals. Please support expanding student access to certified librarians so we can help students achieve all of their goals. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the last blue card, employee Steve Sador from Edsel Ford would like to come to speak to the board, thanking the Germania Club Downriver Detroit for their donation to the Edsel Ford German trip to Chicago.
Good evening and guten Abend, everyone. I'm not sure if that was in the translation. My name is Steve Sador, and I've been the German teacher at Edsel Ford High School for over 20 years. And I'm here tonight to recognize the Germania Club. We have several members of the Germania Club here with us, Downriver Detroit. For most of my 20 years, we've had a very fruitful relationship with the Germania Club. I can remember many cultural festivals that they've invited us to, that students have participated in, worked at, and they've shared their love of German culture with our students, and it's been really a remarkable relationship. But I'm here tonight specifically to recognize their very generous donation toward our annual trip to Chicago, which is upcoming in April. Because of their amazing donation of $10,000, that has enabled this trip to go forward this year, and 35 students to have the experience of going to Chicago. and parents as well. So maybe if I could just have them introduce themselves real briefly. I just wanted to say vielen Dank to them, and for me personally, over my career, how much the relationship with the Germania Club has meant to all of our students and to myself personally.
Hi, how are you? It's so good to see you guys again. Hi, Mr. Addy. So I am Sabine Yates. I'm the president of the Germania Club Downriver Detroit, and with me I have part of our board and esteemed members. My mother, Siglinde Rickert, who is the secretary, and then Scott Floyd, who is our treasurer, and Katie Bagans, who is our ladies auxiliary, and she's kind of our Andre Oma. She's our honorary executive board member. And my husband, Steve, is back there too. He's just, you know, assistant to me, I guess. Also another hard worker. The club was established in 1969, and part of the charter, is it called the charter? Yeah. Part of the charter was to encourage just social encouragement of language programs in the communities. We've had dances and summer festivals. We met Hersador, because we can't call him by his first name. We met Hersador when Julian, our oldest, joined Etzel Ford, and that was he graduated in 2015, so does that mean was that 2011 maybe? So he's kind of an uncle in our family. Our third son is about to graduate from Etzel, and he is the third eighth to go through 4 years of German with Hersador. And we were so grateful that after selling our property down in Brownstown, we were able to just start doing what we were meant to do, which is give to the community. So we wanted to start with Hersador and the Etzel German program. So we are just very thrilled that we were able to do this, and we're glad to be here and see you guys again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. Next item, please.
Under citizen participation, any board follow-up?
Dr. Maleko?
Can I just make a comment? It's good to see Sabine from my Duval days as principal, and Mr. Sador. Every time, I mean, his enthusiasm is just outstanding in the foreign language program whenever I go in his class. So thank you for what you're doing for the students and for the donation.
Yeah, I feel sorry they had to wait 2 hours to get up here.
Yeah, we should have had you earlier.
Thank you. Anything else? Next item, please.
Action items. Are there any agenda items on this agenda which board members or the superintendent wish to discuss and vote on separately? If there are, we will exclude them from the motion below.
We do have a supplement at the table. Okay.
Okay, move that action items numbered 1 through 16 be approved as recommended in this agenda.
Hold on.
I've got a question on one item, doesn't need to be pulled, I'll make the motion.
Support?
Did you read the motion? I didn't catch it because I was trying to figure out.
That's okay.
Yeah, did she finish
You
with the
did, you
motion?
finished?
yes.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion moved by trustee Thorpe, supported by trustee McDonald. Thank you. Are there any questions? Jim Thorpe?
What I wanted to clarify, Dr. Maleko, is on action item number 12 about virtual days. That is only for the current school year that this item is in place for. It's not for future school years, correct?
Correct, and it really is an insurance policy. Okay. Obviously, we've counted that we've used 4, so if we were to go over the 6, then this would give us flexibility.
I just wanted to clarify that it was just this current school
Yeah.
year. Thank you.
Any other questions? For the future, when you have a question, just wait for the motion to be put on the table. I know previously we've gotten into asking questions before the motion's on the table. You don't have to. What the secretary is asking for, is there any action items you want pulled? Okay, are there no more questions? Are there any objections to the motion? Okay, hearing none, please attach a unanimous vote in the affirmative. Next item, please.
Summary of agenda action items. Number 1, approval of warrants. Number 2, approval of an award to People Driven Inc., CDWG, and Data Image Systems. Number 3, approval of an award to Pioneer Valley Books. Number 4, approval of an award to AMCOM. Number 5, approval of an award to Strengthio Fitness LLC. Number 6, approval of an award to Shriver Roofing Company. Number 7 through 10, approval of non-instructional and instructional personnel items for P12. Number 11, approval of financial statement per Board Report 23-106. Number 12, approval of an administration applying for 15 days or virtual instruction for 2023-2024. Number 13, adoption of the first budget revision for 2023-2024 per Board Report 23-107. Number 14, approval to sign the attorney-client contract per Board Report 23-108. And number 15, approval of donations. Next, discussion item, there's none.
16.
Oh, I'm sorry. And number 16, appointment of Director of Grants and Special Projects.
Hold on. Dr. Maleko?
So I'd like to call up Lauren M. Barreco, who was just approved for the Director of Special Projects and Grants. If we could show our appreciation and congratulations to her. And Tom went over all the grants that we have to keep track of in the district.
Well, I want to applaud you for having the foresight to hire a position to do this in the post-COVID era. I think it's going to be really important, and I want to thank Dr. Maleko. I want to thank Mr. Thomas Wall, the hiring committee, and all of you for this opportunity. It's going to be a big responsibility to make sure that we are moving forward fiscally strong, and I am just really looking forward to it. So thank you so much.
Welcome, thank you.
I also want to thank my husband, who I brought
Oh,
with me. This
wonderful.
is Isaac.
Thank you, Isaac.
And just my family, you know, and I'm just excited to be a part of this family. So thank you so
Oh,
much.
you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Okay.
Next item, please.
Discussion items, there's none.
Okay.
Next, Board of Education business, acknowledgement of correspondence.
Anybody? Okay. Next item.
Board member committee and organization reports.
I have a report. Tonight, we had our Finance Committee meeting. And our Finance Committee meeting, Mr. Wall expressed what our agenda was, the First Amendment resolution and the board budget amendment presentation, along with the purchase of the SME Henry Ford College property has been closed.
Congratulations. Anything else? Okay. Next item.
Next, board member and superintendent commentary.
Trustee Thorpe?
Couple quick items. Dr. Maleko mentioned earlier that it is March, meaning reading month. So I would encourage people to get a chance to contact some of the elementary schools in our district, get a chance to get in there. If you're having a rough day, get in front of a bunch of kindergartners and your day will get turned around really quick. Second thing I wanted to mention is that we're getting into the springtime, and that's also a scholarship season. So seniors, when you're out there, and parents, when you're helping your students look for scholarships, the Dearborn Education Foundation has many scholarships that are available. I know that there's other groups out there. This money is available for you. So please take the time, bring down the cost of your college education. Thank you.
Trustee McDonald?
Piggybacking on that, the foundation at the college also has a lot of scholarships available. So have your students check into those, and there are a ton. So good luck, and it's a good way to lower your costs. One other thing, as was spoken about warmer temperatures, just be mindful of, we'll have students and motorcycles and other people sharing the road. So just be cautious when you're driving, and don't drive angry, drive aware.
Thank you. Anybody else?
She stole my idea.
What's that?
She stole my comment. I was going to say, with this warmer weather, I'm seeing more and more students who are actively engaging in.
But I heard us say be cautious for the motorcycles. Should be cautious for our lives.
Well,
All right, I'll leave that one alone. I'll leave that one alone.
But I'm thinking also, I'm seeing a lot of our students coming out of certain schools blowing through red lights. So I think that is something, I know we're excited to get out of school, but I'm also seeing more runners and walkers. So part of that is just being more mindful of your surroundings and those red lights.
Thank you for sharing
So-
that. Next item, please. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to congratulate the Dearborn High's basketball team, men, boys. They had a great season, and unfortunately, they got beat at the end, but they had a tremendous season, so congratulations to them.
Yes, thank you. Trustee Thorpe?
One additional thing I just thought of, before we meet again, we will have spring break. So especially to the high schoolers, make good choices. Don't put yourself in bad situations if you go away on spring break or even just hanging out with friends at home.
Trustee Moses?
Well, Lauren, welcome to the team. I know this position I've asked for, I think, 2 years ago when we had the first round of the CARES Act money. And I knew that, or had a hunch that grants would be the road for school districts to apply. And now, from the presentation today, it is evident that we need you on our team. So welcome, and thank you, Dr. Maleko, for this consideration.
Anybody else? Next item, please.
Requests for information and/or future agenda items.
Trustee Watts, you had one?
Yeah, so I think part of it, and I kind of already discussed it, was just having a report on those students that we've lost, just so that we can know, again, going forward, how do we plan for that going accordingly. And then the other thing that was brought up was our STEM middle school, just to see, and this doesn't have to be a presentation, just something in board briefs, just those students who did enter through the non-test requirement, just to see
How they're doing.
how they're doing, yeah.
What are you referring to?
So for STEM, they could,
Oh, okay, yes,
Yes,
thank you, thank you. I guess add what I said earlier about if there's any siblings in elementary, all three levels, if there's any siblings at all three levels. So we lost the females incoming ninth graders to see if there's any siblings in high school or,
Okay.
because I have a good idea.
Of the students that we lost.
Yes, yes, thank you. Trustee Thorpe?
Going along with what Trustee Watts mentioned for STEM, so if these are changes that were put in place for the current academic year, we've only got one semester. So I would also ask for additional information once we get into the summer so we can see a full year's worth of how it's going for those students. Thank you.
Dr. Maleko, last year we received a report from Ms. Irani, exactly last March, about read by third grade.
Okay.
If we can get an update for the 2017 cohort only, see what they, what they achieved this past year. And I don't know how this would come out, but, how are our middle schoolers doing? Because sometimes I'm talking to English teachers at the high school level, and they're giving us some bad news. So let's start looking into that, please. Anybody else? Trustee Moses?
Yeah, kind of a question on students who are either leaving or choosing other pathways. I know we had the contract with the Graduation Alliance, so I'd like to know the success rate with the Graduation Alliance company and how are students doing there. And then for the boundary line exemption for staff members, I wasn't aware. I'd like to know how many staff members were utilizing this. And honestly, this might be an oversight on my part, that I didn't think of the staff at the time when we voted this and to eliminate it. So I'd like to know how many staff members were utilizing boundary line exemption prior to the elimination.
You said with the middle, okay, I've got those, and then middle school students, just achievement, middle school.
Just,
general.
reading scores.
Reading scores,
Yeah, kind of
okay.
put it into a report.
Okay.
Yeah, please. Anybody else?
Mr. Mashur may have an answer right now for the boundary line.
Let's wait on that, please.
Okay.
Let's wait
I
on
heard
that.
other questions.
Yeah, let's wait.
Your question, you asked about siblings too? You asked about siblings? Did you want me to answer that one?
Oh, yeah, if you have the information.
Yeah, we have quite a few of our siblings that both siblings leave to Penn Foster or to other virtual schools.
So they do have siblings at the lower levels.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
okay.
And sometimes they have siblings in high school too that both leave.
You just missed that. I followed up with that. I want to see at the high school.
Yeah, I was in my office. I have that
So
on.
I
so
think we have
the-
I know we have a good idea what's going on there.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
And then the boundary line one, you don't want me to answer now?
Let's wait on that,
No
please.
problem.
Yeah, thank you. Next item, please.
future meeting dates, Monday, March 18th, 2024, HFC Board of Trustees Policy Committee meeting, 6 p.m. at the Administrative Services and Conference Center in the Cabinet Conference Room. Monday, March 18th, 2024, HFC Board of Trustees meeting, 7 p.m. at the Administrative Services and Conference Center in the Rosenau Boardroom. Thursday, April 11th, 2024, P12 Board meeting, 7 p.m. at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom.
All right, thank you. We are adjourned.